Hello everyone, and welcome to a new segment called Coach's Corner here at Morehead State, where we sit down with our head coaches, assistant coaches, and staff members, get to know them a little bit more and talk about their philosophies, how they coach, how they got into coaching, and interesting facts about their lives. We're beginning this segment with our longest tenured coach and our winningest coach in school history, and also our athletic director now, Jaime Gordon. So Jaime, thanks for being on this first segment.
Yeah, excited about it, and appreciative to be the launch point on this. So
let's go back and just talk, focus on the volleyball and what got you into volleyball. When did it start for you as being interested in the sport of volleyball? I know as you got into college you played volleyball, but where was the love for the sport? Where did that begin?
yeah, it's interesting. I grew up in a basketball house. My father actually played basketball for the Cuban national team, so I grew up around it, and really had no exposure to volleyball. And it wasn't until high school that I was learned that our girls' high school coach was starting a boys team, and it was a spring sport, and it was opposite basketball. And I was like, you know what, let me give this a shot. And, loved it and really kind of took to it, and then wound up attending University of Kentucky. I played club volleyball there, and really it was volleyball that got me through all of the tough classes and tough relationships and all of those types of things. And so it was collegiate sports was something that I was just drawn to, and had an opportunity to start volunteering at the University of Kentucky under that time head coach Kathy DeBoer, and had an opportunity coming out of college after I finished my master's. I got a degree in architecture and had an opportunity to be an architect with a firm, and I also had a coaching opportunity at West Virginia Wesleyan, and followed my heart and went the coaching route.
I guess to use a little bit of a correlation in the architecture world, in building and building the blueprints of building a program, what are some of the things that you've learned over the years? Obviously been here a long time and had a lot of success, but when you started, what were some things that you learned that you either still use now, or you realize, hey, I was young then and now I've been able to build this program here at Morehead State?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of lessons that I learned through architecture. One is perspective, and that's a lesson that I've carried into coaching, into relationships, into anything. Is that, hey, what's the other perspective? How can I look at this in a different way? And so when it came time to build a culture or build a volleyball program, when I had the opportunity to come here back in 2003, 18 years ago, is okay, what now is that going to be that foundation that we build the program on? And I decided that it was going to be a love of the game. And so every recruit that ever came on a visit, every staff member that I interviewed, every single person every manager, I asked them one question, specifically, which was, why do you want to do this? Why do you want to do Division I athletics? This is a big commitment. What's your reason? What's your why? And you get some different answers, but there was one answer that was requisite for everybody, and that was, because I love it, because I love volleyball, because that's who I am. And I figured that was a huge foundation that at the end of the day, if we're having a tough time in class or anything like that, you could come into the gym, walk into the locker room, and be around people who just loved and shared the passion that you had for that game. We'll be able to work through all the other things.
And when you talk about recruiting, you've been able to recruit some extremely talented kids, not only on the court, but in the classroom. And I know that's very important to your program as well. So when you look at someone coming in, not only for the love of the game, how do you evaluate if they're going to be a right fit for the program too?
It's a great question, Matt, and I think the key starts from what's your philosophy. Okay, so what's driving recruiting for you? And if you really put the student athlete at the heart of what you are doing, what you want for them is the best possible experience and the right fit. Every school is a good fit for different types of people. So Morehead State is not the perfect place for everybody, but it's an amazing institution that has a lot to offer. And so if you start off and say, hey, if you're a recruit, and I say, hey, my main goal is to help you find the right school for you. If it's Morehead State, great. If it's not, that's great too. So I think once you show that you're really and genuinely invested, then you can start to share, hey, this is what's special about Morehead State. And I think as a result of that, the people that have chosen to come here know what they're getting, and this is what they're looking for. They're looking for a place that's supportive. They're looking for that family atmosphere. And so they're excited about it from the day that they commit. They're excited about it when they come here. And then every single day, it's what they thought it would be. And then after they graduate, this was that home.
Let's finish it off here today by going back, and I know there's been so many memorable wins, OVC championship wins. Just kind of talk to me, is there one or two wins that maybe you remember? It could be maybe the OVC championship, or maybe it's beating a ranked team or something, and the joy that your team had in winning that match.
Yeah, I'll tell you, there's two, and they wouldn't be the ones that you would think of because they're not those types of matches. There was one year, it was actually 2014, and we had just come off of 4 straight OVC championships. That season was probably one of our worst. Actually, I think it was our worst season. I think we had maybe one conference win going into senior day, and the school, I'm not even going to say who it was because I want to give them credit, but the school that actually that had won the regular season played at senior night, and we beat them. And that class, even though that was the last game and we weren't playing for anything else, that match was really special because the team never gave up. The other one, and this is definitely the most special one, was we had a game and we had one senior, and it actually wound up being her senior day because her mom was terminally ill. The night of that match, our player's mom passed, and we didn't know what she would do, if she would want to play, and she did, and I remember it because we honored her at the beginning of the game, our senior. And we won in three sets. That player had a career match. She was unbelievable. After that match, and it was just to see how the team came around her, the community came around her, but what she did in that game, because I felt as a coach going into it that I was going to have to be the strong one. I needed to be there for her. And I remember when she was walking out onto the court prior to, I looked in her eyes, and she was the one that had the strength. She was the one that was there. And I remember after the final point, and she even got a kill in the final point, going out onto the court and hugging her, we both broke down. I mean, just the emotion of that. And so, and that's what happens in a long career of coaching. You think about, okay, maybe playing at Illinois in the NCAA tournament, or Purdue, or knocking off a Power 5 team or a top 25 team and those types of things, or going undefeated in the regular season, or beating this record or anything like that. And you forget about those things, but it's those connections and those very special moments that you were a part of that memory for that athlete.
Jaime, I really appreciate you sharing your insights and appreciate you and everything you do for your program and for Morehead State. Thank you for being on this afternoon.
All right, well, thanks for doing this, and excited about the future of this program.
Sounds good. Jaime Gordon, our volleyball coach and athletic director. That's our first edition of Coach's Corner here at Morehead State University. I'm Matt Schabert for Jaime. We'll see you next time.